Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So it has been a hot minute since I've uploaded a video. I know. So just like last summer, I was hit with the realities of what it's like to work 40 hours a week virtually while also going to school virtually and working remotely for another job. So I just didn't have the energy to pour into YouTube, but now that my 10-week internship has come to an end, I finally have more time, and I have a lot to share from that entire experience. I know I say this in pretty much every video, but for those of you who do not know me yet, my name is Rebecca. I'm currently studying cybersecurity and information systems at UTSA. I interned this past summer in cybersecurity, and this is my second summer internship throughout my entire college career, for context. In the first video I made talking about my internship, I focused a little bit more on how I got my first internship and how I ended up getting the second internship, I believe, as well. So if you're interested in that entire like story time plus advice moment, you can go ahead and check out that video. I will make sure to insert a card if you're interested. For this video, I want to focus more on what to do when you're actually in that position of working virtually. Whether it's an internship or it's your regular 9-to-5 job, you should always be networking. Even if you've been at a company for 5 years, you could probably still network in some way. So these are going to be my 3 tips for networking in a virtual environment. My first tip is going to be to schedule one-on-ones with other people on your team or other areas that you're interested in. It is so important that you build relationships and that you build trust with the other people that you're going to be working with, and it is a little bit harder to do when you are virtual. You need to make sure that you're putting in the extra effort to build real connections and build that trust so that you can have points of contacts and people to reach out to when you do need help. If you are interning, definitely take this opportunity to reach out to leadership and just higher positions in that company, because more people are more willing to talk to interns, or most people are more willing to talk to interns because they want to help you, they want to help you grow, and I do believe that once you graduate, a lot of that help goes away. Not to say that people don't want to help you, but as an intern, there's a little soft spot and they'll want to actually help you. So take advantage of that while you can. I definitely did. Before you go into these meetings, make sure that you come up with a few questions beforehand so that if the conversation runs dry, you have some questions to resort to. Also, people love talking about themselves. That's why I made a YouTube channel. Just kidding. But seriously, people love to talk about themselves, and they love to see that the new generations or the younger people or the people that are already in their roles are curious about them and want to learn more about the company and about themselves. And again, it's just another way to really build trust and build relationships while you are in a virtual environment. Ask questions like, how are you coping with working virtually? If they're leaders, ask them how their leadership styles and like mentoring styles have changed now that they're virtual. Ask them about their journey into the field. There are tons of websites, and multiple times in my internship, I would just Google like questions to ask, title, and just kind of pick and choose the ones that I felt were relevant to me. Obviously, don't just like grab some generic question and like throw it at them. It's gonna feel like some weird interview. Make sure you're asking engaging questions that will help the conversation continue and just help you get some valuable information. Another thing that I did after having my one-on-one is asking if we can, of course, follow up and meet again. And there are 2 people during my last summer internship that I met with regularly, and I can definitely say it was extremely beneficial. It gave me a lot of insight into the field and just a lot of motivation. I had one person I would go to more so for career advice, and then another person that was more so a mentor, and both of them, again, extremely valuable relationships and just experiences to have. Number 2 is to communicate. At some point, you're probably going to need help from somebody else. Of course, there are those like sole lone wolves that just can do everything by themselves. I'm going to be honest, I feel like that's really boring and it's super isolating, and of course, it's really easy to just be like, oh no, I can like do all of this, I can do all of this, but more than likely, the company that you're working for or the company that you're interning with hired you to collaborate with others and to see how you work in a team environment. Of course, again, there are like freelance roles, whatever, but most of the time collaboration is key for anything you're doing. We create amazing things when we work together, and I think it's important that you never push aside or never devalue working in a team. I feel like college and maybe high school ruins your perception of what it's like to work in a team because you might be the person that's doing all the work, or, you know, everybody's not evenly pulling their weight, but it is still super valuable. You get tons of new perspectives, you get tons of new skills, and you just gotta collaborate. You have to collaborate, you have to communicate. It's the only way you're gonna be able to network and actually learn some new things. My intern tip for this one is to be transparent about the skills you have and to be willing to learn new things. This past internship, I learned Python and I learned some other querying languages and Elk Stack, things like that. I got to finally get my hands in that, but to be honest, I really didn't know any of it beforehand. At my college, we learned Java, so again, I feel like if you have one language down, it's pretty easy to just learn the syntax for another. But again, me being super new to the language, it was really good for the other managers to see how willing I was to jump into these new things I was unfamiliar with and how willing I was to just tackle something even though I had no idea where to even start. So just be willing to take risks, especially as an intern. Obviously, you're there for a job offer, hopefully, but you also have like little to lose because you're an intern and nobody is expecting you to know how to do everything and to have the answers to everything. At my old job, my manager would always tell me to underpromise and overdeliver, and honestly, I think he's right. I think that's a great approach. The last thing in this category is to tell other people about the things that you are passionate about that may not align directly with your job role. So again, I was obviously at my internship for cybersecurity, so I was there to help the internal risk team. That was the area I got to intern in, and I am not sharing a ton about it because I don't really know what all I can share and confidentiality, you know, but basically I worked in internal risk, but I'm also a videographer and a photographer and a digital creator, and I love doing creative things. And because I shared that like a whole 3 separate times in the first week, I ended up being able to be part of 2 content-related projects. They got me in contact with the company, or not the company, but the team that creates the corporate commercials. It was a really cool experience, and if I would have never shared that, like, hey, like, I create videos, I do freelance work. I only shared my YouTube channel with like 2 people because I was like a little shy, but if it hadn't been for me sharing that, I would have never had that experience, and that was probably what made me love my internship so much, is the fact that I got to put my, I was about to say put my hands, I guess dip my toes into a bunch of different types of work while I was there. I will get bored if I'm doing the same task every single day, which I know happens sometimes, but if I have other little side projects, it helps keep me sane. So make sure you share the things you are passionate about. All right, next. The last thing I'm going to say for networking and internships and those of you who are working in virtual environments is to get comfortable using your online resources. A lot of companies have some type of internal social media. I know they're like a little cringy, but they are a great way to share your accomplishments and to get recognition and just be noticed by other people in the company. So make sure you're sharing your accomplishments, sharing your insights on there. As pointless as it may seem, it's not pointless. You're sharing valuable information, you're sharing your perspective, and it's showing that you are, again, collaborating and interacting and still making an active effort to be part of the company, even though you're in a position to where it's super easy to just shut yourself off and only do your job. Alongside your potentially internal corporate social media pages, make sure to get comfortable with LinkedIn. I've met so many people that like hate using LinkedIn. I'm not really sure why. I think like they may have not found their people yet, but LinkedIn is a super valuable tool. Don't just add anybody to your network because that's not the point. Like, it's not Facebook. Add people that are actually connected to you or that you have an interest in connecting with. So if you do connect with someone on LinkedIn, like reach out, send a message. Or if you met a person and had a one-on-one afterwards, go add them on LinkedIn and like reach out and thank them for their time. It is super, super valuable to just have those contacts. Again, don't just add anybody. That kind of like defeats the purpose of building a network if you don't know who's in it. Post regularly, interact with other people, and again, you'll be seen by other people in your company or companies you're interested in. It's just another really useful tool, and I think that we neglect LinkedIn a lot. Maybe like the professional community is like already all over that, but as like younger people and people just entering the field, I feel like we neglect LinkedIn and just think of it as like some weird professional social media site, but it's actually super valuable and super helpful, so make sure that you're investing just a little bit of time into that as well. You don't have to spend all day on LinkedIn, but again, post, interact, share some accomplishments, share some insight, share updates. It's pretty simple. So I hope that those 3 tips help somebody a little bit, just a tiny bit, with networking in a virtual environment. I'm going to be doing more videos about my virtual internship probably within the next coming 2 weeks, because y'all, that was an experience. That was a whole 10 weeks of working inside for 40 hours a week, and then I would just spend even more time inside. Basically, I want to talk about coping with working from home is what this is about. If you want to catch up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram at Rebecca J. Richard. If Microsoft buys TikTok, I will rejoin TikTok and hopefully have another handle to share with you very soon, because the cybersecurity in me, like, I can't contribute. Anyways, this is out of hand. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you in my next video. Until next time, bye.